Welcome to episode 2 of Haunted Brighton. Right, I'm about to light my candle now. Grab a cup of tea or any drink you want and get comfy. I have a few really good stories from my workplace. So the first time I ever felt something weird was happening was a few years ago. I'm on the second level of which is part of the workplace, and so I went up these stairs to get something, and every time I turned away from the door, I could feel like someone was watching me or someone was behind me, and it always freaked me out. So if I needed to get a file or anything, I couldn't stay in there more than like a couple of minutes. It was really weird. The thing that validated it was that I wasn't the only one who felt that way. There were other people who worked there that also felt that way. And let me think. There's another story when I was about to enter an office on that same level, and I thought that someone was in there. So I thought I'd play a joke on whoever it was that was in there, and I just kind of glimpsed from the corner of my eye that there was this dark shape, like the dark shape of someone. So I crept in to look through the window in the door, and whoever it was disappeared. Then I thought, oh, maybe I imagined it. So I went away, and then later in the day, I went back up there again, and again I thought there was someone in there. But honestly, 2 seconds later, I turned back and the person was gone. It really freaked me out. And the thing is, I wasn't the only person who saw that. One of my colleagues was going to go into the same space, and she thought she saw like a real person in there, and then turned to look again, and the person was gone, and she screamed. She screamed and she ran. Oh my god, I think I saw a ghost. And I was like, yes, I think there is a ghost there, at least one. And it was really funny to see her freak out. Oh, not so funny. I'm trying to think of another thing. Oh yeah, in this room next to this office, there are filing cabinets, and there were times when I was talking about incidents or ghost stories with someone else, and one of the filing cabinets, one of the filing drawers would slowly open by itself. I mean, it could maybe there's something wrong with it, and maybe it's not a ghost, but I just thought it was really spooky. And other people as well, not just me. Let me think of one that is creepier than that. I'm trying to remember. I have a really good one, but I'll save that till later. Okay, I'm just racking my memory, trying to think of other things that I might have seen that could have been ghosts. In this same space I was talking about earlier, there were times when I was up there alone, and You know when you kind of half look up and half look down, like when you're about to look up, like in front of you. So felt like someone was watching me. So I looked up, but there was no one there. And then I continued doing what I was doing. And then again, I felt like someone was watching me again. So I looked up again, and I kind of half saw like a dark shadow or a dark figure sitting on one of like a wheelie chair, one of those big wheelie chairs. And then I blinked, and then there was no one in. Well, there was no one there. That was a bit creepy. I thought I imagined it. But I don't know. What do you think? There was another time I was using the computer in that same space, and I thought that someone was watching me again, and I turned to look at the door, but there was no one there. So I carried on. And again, I thought someone stuck their head like around the corner, around the doorway, peeking in. And then I looked up to see if it was one of my colleagues, and I kind of half saw someone looking in and then disappear. And I was like, oh no. I looked around a bit to see if there's anyone actually came in, but there are these doors that like bang when you go through them, so there's no way that someone could have gone in or out without me hearing them. That was a bit creepy. I was really hoping to read your stories, but I haven't gotten any of yours, so I'm going to share with you the story I told you that I was going to share with you. There are these stairs that I go up to get to this other place in work. And there are, let me think, 2 flights, I think. Yeah, 2 flights. And so I came through these doors, and I started walking up these stairs, and I almost saw someone like in front of me, and I thought maybe it was one of my colleagues coming halfway down and I was going halfway up, but it wasn't. It was like a very, very quick, sudden flash. Very quick, sudden flash of someone appearing, and I was like, what was that? And it kind of, when someone flashes a camera in your eye or a bright light, and it leaves this almost an image on your retinas. It was kind of like that. It was like a sudden flash, and I almost saw this shape of a girl wearing white. Just flashed for a few seconds, and then I blinked because I thought I was about to like run into someone, and then I blinked again and it was gone again. And that incident, it definitely raised the hairs on my arms and on my neck, and I had goosebumps like for a long time after that. So I stopped for a bit after I climbed the stairs, and I turned around to look around, and there was no one there. And I could feel, I don't know, there's this certain feeling when you feel like you just experienced something, and it's not a normal feeling. It's not like a feeling of being scared. It's just a weird feeling. Can't explain it. Yeah, this one still burns into my memory for a long time. That one really did scare me. I think that was the worst one. Worse than feeling like someone's looking at me, or and looking in through the door, or feeling like someone is sneaking up at me in that room. So that's that story. I'd love to read your stories. Please share your stories in the comment section. If you're not logged into YouTube, if you don't have like a Google, a Gmail or something, then you need to log on, create an account, and then you can comment and leave me your ghost stories. Give this video a like, share it if you want. It's just good fun to just share these stories with you and see if we can compare stories and which ones we have are similar to each other. So I hope you guys have had a great weekend, and I'll share more stories with you next week. Bye.